Greetings, everyone. I am Lunar Kitten Zero, and we are back checking out Lionel Johnson, the Lion King of the Imperium by Astartes Anonymous. I have been a bit inspired, so there will be a bit of a treat at the end of this video. I just find this character very fascinating. I've still got the Tarzan thoughts in my head. And I know last video I messed up and confused Luther and Logar. Darn L names mixed me up, but I got my information, I hope, somewhat more clear in my head this time around. But yeah, no more talking, let's just continue on learning about the lion.
Broken into real space and was threatening to bring a sudden stop to everything that the Dark Angels had broken into one's present.
Alright, here we go. So we can catch up on what he was actually saying.
The greater demon of Zeech had broken into real space and was threatening to bring a sudden stop to everything that the Dark Angels had fought for. This demon's name was Kairos Fateweaver, and it claimed to be able to see the future and the past in equal measure.
Okay, that's interesting. So it could see the future and past, and it's got the two. See, this is that weird two-headed bird thing I was talking about. Zeech's mutated child is just weird. I know it's not really his kid, but the thing kind of freaks me out. It actually reminds me of that weird troll thing, two-headed troll thing from the movie Willow. If you guys haven't seen that creature, watch Willow, you'll understand what the two-headed troll thing is. It kind of reminds me of that. That's the level of yucky creepiness that just creeps into my mind. Yeah. Definitely weird.
Kairos Fateweaver, and it claimed to be able to see the future and the past in equal measure. The demon attempted to convert the Primarch to chaos, but the heart of the Night King of Caliban could not be swayed. After the battle, the greatest servant of Zeech found itself banished back to the warp with the lion's blade through its heart. Using the aforementioned T'Chulcha engine, the Lord of the First was finally able to get the drop on the Night Lords. After dueling his brother for a second time, the greatest beast of Caliban left the Primarch of the Night Lords in a coma. Though he was recovered by his sons, the Night Haunter soon boarded the Invincible Reason and began to reap a bloody butcher's bill aboard the Gloriana-class battleship. Though the lion hunted his brother for the next 16 weeks, he would never catch him.
Okay, so hold up. Let's back this up. So they continued to fight, and he put that guy right there. You can kind of see the
and began to
there he is. Conrad, I believe his name is, put him in a coma. Dang. And I guess what he said is once he got out, he started beating the crap out of everybody on the ship. Am I understanding this right?
A bloody butcher's bill aboard the Gloriana-class battleship. Though the lion hunted his brother for the next 16 weeks, he would never catch him.
Okay, so he kept chasing him, but he never got him. So one guy, Logar, runs from a bird, and it sounds like Conrad runs from the kitty. Starting to sound like a Tom and Jerry cartoon in my head for some reason. Also, I know this image is starting to fade, but again, the artwork was beautiful. Even with this fade out effect that's on here. Let's see if we can back up. I love that one, of course. But again, just beautiful artwork. The shine there on the halo, on the Primarch's head, on that shoulder. Just that hint of light going down into that darkness and that red highlight coming from below. It's like a heaven-hell versatility to it, and I really love that. And then you got all the Marines back there with their glowing eyes and that little bit of red on their armor really just popping out. Artwork every time gets me. Can't help but love it.
Hunted his brother for the next 16 weeks, he would never catch him. The betrayal at Calth not only crippled the Ultramarines, but it also unleashed the Ruined Storm. a warp storm of truly breathtaking size. With this warp anomaly in place, Loyalist forces could not traverse the warp, due to the Astronomicon being completely obscured. The First Legion as a whole seemed dead in the water until a pure light shone through the warp, illuminating Macragge, homeworld of his brother, Rabute Guilliman. Not wasting this opportunity, the Dark Angels and their Primarch made for the homeworld of the Ultramarines, with Conrad Kurz still stalking the bowels of the Invincible Reason. Upon arriving at Macragge, the Lion and Guilliman were at odds nearly immediately. Guilliman wanted to take charge of his home, and the Lion staunchly believed that he knew best on almost all matters. To add another variable to an already complex situation, the Night Haunter was about to do something that would reveal a side of the Lion that none had ever seen before. During a feast to strengthen relations between the Ultramarines and their Dark Angels guests, the drop pod bays of the Invincible Reason opened up, releasing their bellicose cargo into the skies above Macragge, as seen in the Unremembered Empire.
Great terror. I felt it. I felt it there. The surge of minds. Hundreds of minds suddenly alert with anticipation. What did you do, my lord? What did you just do?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Lion began, but his words were cut off by the sudden chiming of multiple alert monitors, swiftly followed up by a blare of palace klaxons. Guilliman threw back his chair and stood up.
Report!
Mass orbital launch. The Dark Angel's flagship is just... It has just launched a full drop pod assault on Macragge, Civitas.
What?
Assault swarm confirmed by all stations.
Guilliman's sword was in his fist and aimed tip first across the table at the Lion.
Is this your treachery?
No.
The Lion did not flinch despite the blade hovering at his throat. Some of his officers had drawn swords at the threat to their master. He waved them back urgently.
The grid does not lie. Drop pod swarm from your ship. In...
Okay, so wait, I'm trying to understand the big event here. So Conrad opened the ship up and sent out, I guess, bombs. And I'm assuming the place he's hitting is very important, though I don't recognize the name, so I don't understand the importance, other than it's making Rabute very unhappy. So, interesting. Now, it said this is when we see a side of the Lion that's not been seen before. I am assuming he's going to lose his temper and become a very, very, very angry kitty. But I kind of don't blame him, because you're getting him blamed for a whole bunch of stuff he didn't do right now. And I got distracted by this picture. You guys can't see it. Hold on, let me move. Boop, onto the other side. There we go. The seals on this Ultramarines thing has the U on it, and it's like a cog. I actually like that. That's actually really kind of cool. But boop, there we go. So I'm wondering what Conrad's thing is. Is it to, well, I'm assuming to cause chaos. It sounds like he's just, I'm gonna make trouble. Yep. And sit back and watch everything just unfold into complete chaos. That's how I'm understanding it. Yeah, so this is interesting. I wonder what the Lion's gonna do about this.
Bound.
You attacked me?
I swear not. Stand down. Someone explain this. Signal is confirmed. The Invincible Reason has launched a drop pod assault. Condemned from their own lips. This is a mistake. A malfunction. A mislaunch.
How exactly do you accidentally launch a drop pod assault, brother?
This is a malfunction. I swear so.
Accident or not, the pods will not reach the city. Our shields are raised. Our batteries will have full lock. We will burn them out of the sky.
The Lion swallowed hard and stared directly at Guilliman.
This is a mistake, brother. A terrible mistake, I swear it. I implore you, spare my warriors.
Your warriors?
400 drop pods. A great number of battle brothers. Please, Rabute, please. This is a mistake, an error.
All this time, while we talked of the future, your drop pods were loaded and ready with assault troops? What do you suggest I do, brother? Lower the city shields?
Yes, drop your shields and allow the pods to make controlled landings.
Less than a minute remaining, my Primarch.
You cannot open the city to them, Lord. It is too great a risk. You must fire and eliminate them.
Please, I did not authorize this.
But it is. An attack force you had prepared and held in waiting.
A precaution. You would have done the same.
We must fire now, while they're still in optimum range. You must give the order.
Please, Robute.
Gilliman glanced sidelong at the library.
Okay, I really can't ever take it serious whenever you hear his last name, Rabute, because I hear rub the booty. That's all I hear. Okay, so now what I'm trying to understand is what happened was, I thought at first, I didn't say it, but I thought Conrad had somehow got his soldiers into the drop pods, and I actually thought the drop pods were bombs with like soldiers in it, but no, it's just soldiers or warriors. So he wasn't positive how this negotiation or talk was going to go. I call it a negotiation, but this conversation with his brother was going to go, because they both are blonde and hard-headed apparently. And so he had it pre-set up with warriors in case he needed it. And now, because Conrad's wreaking havoc on the ship, Conrad released those warriors and dropped it down, which Rabute is trying to figure out really quick if this was a malfunction or a tactical maneuver to attack him. That's a tough place to be, because on one hand, you want to trust your brother here that he's not going to attack you, but if you are wrong, you don't just doom the people in that city. You're taking a hit to your own people and your pride and everything else. You would shake confidence even as a leader. So yeah, that's going to be a tricky one. I'm not really sure what I'm hoping he lowers the shields, but it's 40k, so probably it's not going to happen.
Librarian Praeto.
Your brother is close to me, but I can see enough to tell he is telling the truth.
Oh.
Perhaps not the whole truth, but enough of it. He did not authorize this attack. He is horrified by it.
Gilliman looked back at the lion.
Ah! Hold fire! Power down! Lower the shields and let them land!
My lord!
Do it!
Gilliman returned his gaze to the Primarch of the First.
Do not make me regret this, brother.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't want
The
to.
drop pods had not only brought a fresh wave of mistrust betwixt the lion and...
I'm not surprised that there's a mistrust between them, but my goodness, look at this duality of artworks here. Now, I have seen the lion drawn in a lot of different colored armors. Now, this one seems to be the black one with the red for the sword and wings. Now, I've seen that in silver and in like this greenish gray blue color. I don't know which one I like, but to be honest, this one's not bad with the Valkyrie style helmet. I kind of like, I call it Valkyrie helmet whenever I see wings on a helmet, because I don't know what else to call them. And then we got Rabute over here, Rub My Booty, who's definitely rocking the Caesar Roman Emperor style look. And I love that you got the medieval knight versus the Roman guy. And I love the aesthetic. It's really good. Especially with the laurels. You got it going up around the halo. You got this cloth draping there around his waist. Very ornate armor, where you got the lion over here in this very plain See, this just goes back to what we were talking about in the previous video, where the Emperor was telling the lion, you, unlike Horus, you don't need the accolades. You're kind of like you get things done because you know it's the right thing to do. And his armor kind of reflects that. Like, he doesn't need to show off everything on his armor. He just wants to be a good person, good warrior. And then you got Rabute, who's, I'm not saying is a bad person, but definitely, I believe the more decorated your armor is, either you're way into fashion or this was his way of getting tattoos in 40k, or he needs the accolade. He needs to show that he is what, you know, I am perfect. I am great. I'm good at what I do. I am, you know, I'm assuming it's like I would be emperor if the emperor wasn't here, sort of thing. That's a vibe I get, and that's not necessarily what he's doing there, obviously, but that's how I read the character when I look at images of him. I know he has less ornate armor. I've seen him in it, but he does strike me as very proud and very high on his own ego type of character, which is a complete contrast here to Lion. Lion has extreme amount of pride, because obviously, but he's also oddly humble in some ways. So you kind of got a little bit of a duality there, and I can understand why these two clash. They both believe they are superior in the way that they approach things, so that causes a very big clash. Typical sibling thing, like, I'm better. No, I'm better. It's anything you can do, I can do better type of mentality, I think.
Gilliman. Indeed, they had brought something much worse. While the Invincible Reason was one of the largest ships in all of humanity's navy, it was still an effective means of containing its passengers, especially ones that were better left sequestered. The planet of Macragge, by comparison, was an infinitely larger playground for the nightmare that was Conrad Kurz. Working together, Rabute Gilliman and the Lion managed to corner him several times, but the Night Haunter was always one step ahead.
Well, first of all, this picture, I love the fact that 40k was like, hey, you see this guy that screams vampire? Yeah, no, it's actually the pretty little wing guys in the gold shiny armor that looks like they belong out in the sun that are the vampires. This guy, theater kid, emo kid who runs around the school and says, I'm a vampire. I know emo kids and goth kids and vampire kids are all different. I seen South Park. I know they're different. But no, in my school we had them separated. We know they're different. But no, he's yeah, he's not something you want to accidentally unleash on your planet. I know he can be basically a comic book villain if there ever was one. Like Batman would be like, "Oh man, who let this out?" But at the same time, look at this art. This is cool. It screams the whole vampire, you know, I stalk in the night kind of thing. But it also has, it almost has a really old school feel to it. Like I could see this as one of those 90s animations, like, you know, the old Batman cartoon, or like even Batman Beyond and things like that. Oh, heck, even go Gargoyles. It's just that type of style, but very dark, and I love it. I want to say I like it, but no, I love it. It's really good. But, I mean, I love the fact that they cornered him and he keeps escaping. I mean, we learned from a previous video that the Night Lords were, they were kind of assassin type too. They were very good at, like, how did somebody put it? With them, you know they're there, but you can't see them, or something like that. Where the other ones is, you don't know they're there, and you can't see them. I believe that was the Alpha Legion, if I'm remembering. I might be getting a little confused. But I remember his was like stealthy and assassin style. If I remember the Night Lords thing. I might have to go get a refresh on that. Or you guys just leave a comment. Refresh my memory about the Night Lords abilities. Were they the stealth assassins that I'm thinking of? Or am I getting this wrong in a video again? Please let me have this one right. I don't want to make another editor's note. But if I am right, that's why he keeps getting away. It's like, you know, He disappeared. I'm sorry, the minute I started to say something, it popped in my head of him walking through a city and they're looking for him and he's like, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious. And, you know, playing some like Mission Impossible music like doo doo doo. No, nobody sees. I don't know why that all came into my mind, but I just had to share it because it makes me giggle. Especially that he keeps slipping away from him. Yeah. It's just like Krunk from Emperor's New Groove. Except people are just like, okay, it's a weird guy going by, just don't look at it. I don't know if they do that with him. I'm pretty sure they literally just don't see him unless he wants to be seen. But he is one of my favorite characters. I know his group is really dark and messed up, but aesthetically he is just really cool to look at, and it's fun to learn about this character because he is apparently a ball of walking chaos, and it is fun to just dive into the thinking and logic of those characters. My friend who's watching this, the Wolfman as I call him, he sometimes he's a walking ball of chaos, and I know when I said that, he just grinned. Because we have played games together, and if something's gonna go crazy, it's probably his doing or his creation. Give him automation, and it's chaos unleash. And I feel like Conrad is that type of... Well, Conrad's farther than my friend will ever go, clearly. But definitely loves the joy of the chaos they make. Except Conrad's is usually in the form of, you know, murder and violence and more murder. Yeah.
To further complicate matters,
Baldman.
a recently resurrected Vulcan was also rampaging around
Vulcan,
the area,
okay.
hell-bent on killing Kurz himself. Eventually, Sanguinius, Primarch of the Blood...
Just gonna pop over here. Y'all just take a moment to, you know, look at that glorious, beautiful being that is right there. Ah, that's my Primarch. I just needed a moment. I have no clue what he just said. He said Sanguinius, and my attention went out the window. I now have to back up to even know what he's talking about. Oh, he has golden laurels in his hair too. It's really cute. Oh, and there's that cloth right there of the cat that somebody said he defeated in one of his stories. Eventually, I will get to Sanguinius when I start going through the Primarchs, and I will get to his speech and the stuff about Horus. But till then, I can just, you know, be very happy whenever he appears on the screen. But I will control myself. There we go. And let's back up, because I really don't remember what he was talking about. So, what was it?
Further complicate matters, a recently resurrected Vulcan was also rampaging around the area, hell-bent on killing Kurz himself. Eventually, Sanguinius, Primarch of the Blood Angels Legion, would also arrive at Macragge, drawn from Cygnus Prime by the...
Oh, I've not seen this art. Let's pop over here. Go in the demon's mouth. There we go. I have not seen this artwork of Sanguinius, and that armor, props to the artist, because the amount of work to draw all of that details and lines there on the chest plate itself and on the shoulder part, and even that halo in the back has it. That amount of detail. I'm hoping they used a brush, or they manually drawed every single one of those lines. Power to them, because that's, as somebody who used to do that until I learned to copy paste or use a brush that I could just paint some of these lines on. Yeah, hand drawing that can be such a pain. But oh wow, this is gorgeous. And you got the big white wings, even better. And I think he's got some kind of spear here, so the spear even looks like it's rope, but it's all metal. Like, this is the cool thing. It's all one color, but that little drops of red and the blonde in the hair and the skin tone and the white, even though the colors are similar in the armor, these little other pops of colors break it up just enough that it just doesn't look like a blob of this bronzy gold. And it's gorgeous. Okay, enough of me fangirling over the beautiful Sanguinius art. We'll continue.
Light of the Pharos beacon. Discussions were held between the Lion, Rabute, and Sanguinius regarding the steps they would take to ensure the Imperium's survival.
Okay, so these three guys got together and said, all right, we got to work out how to make the Imperium survive, and also somebody get Conrad back on his leash. He is a bad bat. I was going to say puppy, but he's not a puppy. That would be Russ. Russ is the puppy. I don't think he's a bad puppy. He's just a very, very determined puppy. But what I love is it's the three blonde-haired guys. And now I'm wondering, answer this in the comments, how many of the Primarchs are blonde? Are they all blonde? I know a couple of them, I think a few of them are bald. But, I guess the Chaos ones, they're bald. No, they're not. Conrad has long black hair. What am I thinking? Yeah, let me know how many of them are actually blonde. Because I'm just starting to know. I think the Emperor was blonde, right? Or no, or am I confusing it again? I thought he was blonde, but he's not. I've gone and got myself all mixed up now because there's just so many blonde-haired characters, and my brain is just lost in the hair color. But yeah, we'll continue. But let me know in the comments the hair color of the Primarchs, because I feel like there's just a lot of blonde people.
Rabute and Sanguinius regarding the steps they would take to ensure the Imperium's survival. As far as they knew, Terra may be completely gone along with their father.
Okay, first of all, let's go.
Survival. As far as...
Alright, so according by the looks of this, it was dark hair. See, I keep thinking he has blonde hair, but he probably was dark hair. This is probably the most horrific look I have seen yet of the Emperor. And I'm assuming this is him on the Golden Throne, being kept alive, and he's this corpse on a throne. That is dark. And just, I mean, look how holy it's trying to look blessed, but it's a shriveled corpse being forced to stay alive. And it's just, oh, that's wild. And you got the big lion head on the shoulder piece too. Wow, this is really good artwork. Really, really tells a story here. And it's crazy. I just keep looking all over it. Just the lighting, the way it's just the expression on the face, the way the hands is like crumpled up like it's gripping at his chest. It's just definitely screams like suffering and agony, and the corpse thing is definitely expressed as well. Ah, this is another good artwork.
They knew Terra may be completely gone along with their father. Not accepting that this could be the end of humanity's greatest effort, the three brothers resolved to form Imperium Secundus, with Sanguinius installed as Imperator Regis, Guilliman as...
Yay! Oh, I'm sorry. I just had to take a moment. And I don't know why here, this particular artwork, his hair looks like really tight spiral curls. And now in my head, I'm like, why does he have like Shirley Temple's hair? And if you don't know who Shirley Temple is, very old, I guess you could call her a child actress from, God, what was it? The black and white era of movies. Look her up. She did a lot of tap dancing and singing. But yeah, that's that curly tight hair was what it makes me think of. But it's definitely, it's out of place in my head. It's like, does not look like it. Like, it looks like somebody slapped a baby doll's hairstyle on his head, and it broke me. The other one who looks kind of normal in this picture is Rabute. He actually looks like a military guy. The guy on the far left here, which I believe is the lion, his beard doesn't match his hair color, so it's throwing my brain off. Because my brain's like, why is his beard not blonde? Shouldn't it be like lighter? I don't know. But interesting artwork nonetheless, especially the this cloth there on Sanguinius, that cheetah print, or I'm gonna call it a cheetah, that cat print pelt he's wearing. Kind of gives me want to say He-Man, but again, it's almost a Tarzan thing, except it feels like something the lion would have worn as a child. Just, oh, and there's the kitty's head right up there on the shoulder. I didn't even see it. I was so distracted by the hairstyle. But yeah, it's a very interesting look.
Lord Warden, and the Lion as Lord Protector, a title with responsibilities similar to that of a War Master. Lion L. Johnson had finally gotten his wish. With Kurz still at large, and with bodies stacking up by the day, the first order of business for the new triumvirate of rulers was to capture and pacify their animal of a brother.
Okay, so am I understanding this correctly? At this time, Kurz is just running around, or Conrad is just running around randomly killing anything and everything that gets in his way? Now, he skips over it in this, but somebody please explain what set him off and why was he just randomly killing, or is it just if you let him out he just randomly kills? That doesn't seem right. I'm assuming there's a reason, and his targets isn't purely random, that he is in his mind fighting the enemy, and all of them are enemies according to him. At least that's how I'm kind of understanding it. But yeah, clarify that up if you can in the comments about why he was on a killing spree, because I feel like we missed that key point of information.
Rebellions were cropping up all over the world, and it was likely that the murderous Primarch was behind their proliferation. After putting the entirety of Macragge under martial law, and deploying the fearsome Dreadwing to put down rebels at various key locations around the planet, Lionel Johnson, the Hunt...
See, now this right here is how I've seen him a lot, is in that, like I said, that greenish blue color armor. Now this one is a very unique design. I love the design of these armors. They're so ornate and so wild that you wonder how they would actually be able to fight as a person in that, because functionally I'm pretty sure some of this would be more of a hindrance than anything. But that Grim Reaper with the angel wings as the back of his headpiece here, or his neck, whatever, the piece that goes around his neck and where the halo would normally be, that is just really good. And then you got just the lion symbol, again the skulls. You even got the lion paws on either side of his shoulders. It's definitely wild. And I love it. I'm just staring at it. This is so... I love detailed armor like this. You can see every little detail in this, and it's just... the more your eye goes over it, the more you just find stuff. And it's really, really good.
Finally bagged his quarry. A third duel erupted between the two brothers that ended with Kurz's back being broken over the knee of the man who served as the template on which all of his younger brothers were modeled. An echo of what Leman Russ had done to Magnus the Red years before. Thus, the trial...
Wait. Who broke his back? It shows a fight, and I'm assuming that's Conrad. Now, who's that he's fighting? Is that... broke his back? It was either Rabute or it was, obviously the lion. So which one of them did it? Because I'm a little confused. Either way, that's one way to lose.
Of the man who served as the template on which all of his younger brothers were modeled. An echo of what Leman Russ had done to Magnus the Red years before.
Oh,
Thus,
wow.
the trial of Conrad Kurz began. Lionel Johnson insisted that Kurz needed to die for them to be rid of him once and for all. But Sanguinius and Rabute Gilliman both prevented him from taking the Night Haunter's head.
Okay. I might not 100% agree with leaving him alive. I get the lion's point of view at this point. It's like, dude, he just killed a whole bunch of people. But I'm sure the Rabute and Sanguinius has a reason, which would probably like, if we kill him, there will be nobody to lead his marines, and that'll be a problem because they might go weird without a leader. At least that's what I'm assuming. My head wants to say that they were like, listen, we need a token emo goth kid. He's ours. We got to keep him around. He's like their pet goth. They just got to keep the weird little brother. I know that's not what really happened. It's just in my head. Actually, it was probably more or less GW just going, we can't get rid of him. Why? Well, he's goth and looks like a vampire. That's going to pull in people. It did. But Sanguinius pulled me in more than Conrad. But I'm not gonna lie, Conrad's pretty cool looking. I'm not saying what he does is cool, but he looks like a vampire. It's not my fault. It's just really cool.
As a trophy, the lion stubbornly
Wait, what is a trophy?
both prevented him from taking the Night Haunter's head as a trophy.
Oh, okay.
The lion stubbornly and angrily insisted that the only thing that would bring peace was the death of Conrad Kurz. But after being banished from Imperium Secundus and having his sword broken, he returned to the invincible reason to brood.
Wait. See, this is where when you get recaps that sometimes skip information, it's kind of annoying. So, let's hear that again.
Thing that would bring peace was the death of Conrad Kurz. But after being banished from Imperium Secundus and having his sword broken,
He was banished and his sword broken. Because he wanted to kill Conrad, or was there another reason? See, this is why I said details matter. So somebody in the comments let me know. Was this because he was really, really wanting Conrad dead? Or is it because of something else that happened that caused him to get booted to where he is?
he returned to the invincible reason to brood. His thoughts drifted to his once adoptive father, Luther, and he reflected that his exile of the man that had taken him from the forest so long ago may have been the wrong choice. Suddenly, a single, awful, wonderful thought crystallized in his mind, and he raced off to the chamber of the T'Chulcha engine. Arriving in front of the piece of ancient arcane technology, he ordered it to teleport him back to the throne room of Sanguinius. Arriving not a moment too soon, for the Red Angel was about to execute Kurz. L. Johnson begged for his younger brother to stay his hand, if only for a moment. He explained to both of his brothers that Conrad Kurz's vision of the future had shown him his own death at the hands of an assassin sent by their father, which meant that their father had to be alive to be able to send an assassin in the first place. Taking custody of Kurz, the lion and his two brothers made to breach the ruin storm.
Wait, what? I am backing this up. This is a little confusing. So, let's hear that one more time.
So long ago may have been the wrong choice. Suddenly, a single, awful, wonderful thought crystallized in his mind, and he raced off to the chamber of the T'Chulcha engine. Arriving in front of the piece of ancient arcane technology, he ordered it to teleport him back to the throne room of Sanguinius. Arriving not a moment too soon, for the Red Angel was about to execute Kurz. L. Johnson begged for his younger brother to stay his hand, if only for a moment. He explained to both of his brothers that Conrad Kurz's vision of the future had shown him his own death at the hands of an assassin sent by their father, which meant that their father had to be alive to be able to send an assassin in the first place. Taking custody of Kurz, the lion and his two brothers made to breach the ruin storm. While neither Gilliman...
Okay, I'm so lost at what happened there. So he regretted banishing Luther and his men. Then he went back to the throne room where Sanguinius and them were. And this is the part where I get lost. Who is it that says don't kill Conrad? I thought Rabute and Sanguinius didn't want him dead, but the sound of this was that when he got there, they were going to kill Conrad, and he stopped them by saying, watch out, or, you know, like, he had a vision of an assassin coming to kill him, sent by our father, which means our father's clearly alive, so we have hope. If that wasn't him, then who? Because that part is really confusing. It feels very important, but it's rather confusing. And I understand 40k lore, this is recaps, this is summaries, so they don't go into high detail, which is why I look to you guys. Let me know in the comments. Just help me have a bit better, clearer understanding of what just happened right there.
All the Lion were able to breach the turbulence of the Imperium, Sanguinius's fleet was able to make it through to the throne world. Despair and frustration descended upon the Night King of Caliban as his navigators mournfully informed him that the Astronomicon, the symbol of the Emperor's psychic might and the lighthouse by which all interstellar travel used to guide themselves through the war, had gone out. Believing that the war had been lost and that Horus, the arch-traitor, now sat atop the Golden Throne, he resolved that he would not leave a galaxy for Horus to rule.
The Dread Wing will ride with you, sire. We shall let the galaxy burn.
With the Astronomicon gone, the Lion was forced to use the Tucholcha engine to guide his way, much to the dismay of his men. In his nihilistic melancholy, he made for the traitors' homeworlds, using the excuse that they would surely withdraw from the skies of Terra to defend them. In a journey that later became known as the Passage of Angels, the Lion saw Exterminatus enacted upon the worlds of Chemos and Barbarus, the homeworlds of Fulgrim and Mortarion respectively, something to take his mind off his grief. Eventually, he found Corvus Corax and Leman Russ.
Dude, look at that armor. That is cool. Oh, and his sword's even broken there, hanging off from it. Oh, I love that helmet. Like, out of armors I've seen, this is probably, I'm gonna say, I think this has to be like one of my most favorite looks of armors. It screams silent and deadly, and I'm in love with this armor. Especially all the feather detail. But that helmet, the helmet's the star. That is too good. And the way he's holding the swords, it's kind of how you do in 14 when you play ninja. So that's even makes me happier. Oh, I love this.
Mustering on Deliverance, demanding to know where the Raven Guard's Primarch had been during the most important battles of the war. Anything to take his mind off this grief. Corax retorted that he could not risk the complete annihilation of his legion, and would continue to jealously guard his son's safety, not committing them to a wasteful act of spite. Russ, however, did join his brother on his vengeance crusade.
Okay.
After drinking their fill of traitor blood, both the Wolf and the Lion made for Terra to pick up the pieces of their shattered empire. Not soon enough.
Oh.
Lion L. Johnson arrived on a planet covered in ashes. A palace with broken down walls and a bleeding corpse upon his father's throne. In a few short years, 9 of his brothers had turned traitor, and 2 of his remaining loyal siblings lay dead, slain at the hands of the arch-traitor Horus and the now demon prince Fulgrim. His resignation to return to the throne world was quickly replaced by a desperation to return home to Caliban. Bloodied and tired of war, the Dark Angel's Legion arrived above the surface of their...
Okay, so in this series of events in this guy's life, so what eventually happened was they made it back to Terra to find all heck had broke loose and a corpse of an emperor on the throne. Yeah, that's gotta be a bit of a tough take. Like, Dad dead? Well, Dad's sorta dead. Dad's zombie now. Who shines a light for us to navigate with? Don't ask too many questions. But, yeah. He's sad and mourning. Is he mourning the loss of his brothers, or is he mourning the tragedy that befell the empire, or with the empire with the what was it, 9 of the Primarchs turning on them. So I'm a little curious which one kind of made more. I was trying to talk, but dude, that glowy sword there is really, really distracting. Again, another beautiful use of lighting, coloring. I've spent so much time already in this video just talking about art. I can't help it. It really gets me. Very nice, though. I'm just... The greenish blue, gray, whatever color armor is nice, but this gray armor I'm really, really starting to like. Especially with the pops of red there. It's very good.
Father's home. Soon they would be reunited with their brothers who they had been separated from nearly a decade ago. They would all be together, and after a time of resting and rearming, they would be able to take the fight to the new traitors. And then, the void caught fire. Salvo after punching salvo slammed into the arriving fleet. Taking emergency maneuvers, the fleet pulled out of range of the planetary defense batteries. A passing merchant ship informed the Lion that Luther, his brother, his father, had taken control of the planet and assumed authority over the massive Astartes reserve force on the planet's surface. L. Johnson, assuming that this was the work of the thrice-damned forces of chaos, ordered the systematic bombing of Caliban so that no stone would be left upon another. Chaos would not take his home, even if it had to be destroyed to ensure that directive. As the planet buckled under relentless bombardment, Caliban welcomed back her wayward son with ash and smoke. The boy that had grown up in her forests, cleansed her of tainted monsters, and given her people hope for the future had returned. He would not rest in the shade of her trees, or drink from her rivers, nor eat the fruits of her vines. He had returned as a destroyer and a bringer of death. Indeed, for the first time in decades, a beast walked the land, and his name was Lion, son of the forest. Battering aside...
Okay, I'm gonna admit, that line went hard, and it was awesome. The beast walks the land again, and is in the cell line. Yeah. And, see, this is why he... Mr. Daddy Issues Luther. I would not go on another Luther rant. I can speak. But that man just... A lot of this would have been solved with a good therapist. Need a whole like unit of therapists. And I have a feeling that would probably just create a whole bunch of therapists needing therapy.
The last offenders in the fortress monastery of the Order named Alderuk in the Old Tongue. The Lion faced a man that looked like he felt. No being, transhuman or otherwise, could stand against them. They could not be reasoned with, and they could not be swayed from their courses. The clash between Luther and the Lion was like nothing the world had ever seen, nor would ever see again. Luther, having drunk deep from the poisonous well of chaos, had been elevated to a champion of the ruinous powers, and stood on equal footing with his Primarch son. The speed of their swings was as lightning, and each clash of their blades sounded of thunder. All around them, the bombardment continued to break the surface of the planet. In the end, Luther could match the Lion well enough, but he found that he could not be overcome by merely sword play alone. Gathering a newly found psychic might, Luther unleashed a bolt of energy so terrible, so potent, that Lion L. Johnson, Primarch of the 1st Legion of Astartes, the Night King of Caliban, fell to the ground with a wound fatal even for a being such as him. He was no more. In that moment, the scales fell from Luther's eyes as he...
So, Luther used the power of the Chaos Gods to beat the Lion? He hurt the kitty? I'm not happy with that. I don't like this guy. I'm starting to have strong feelings towards this person. Not on the level of Horus, but it's close. See, I knew I didn't like you. I knew I should have kept just calling you Lucifer. No, that's an insult to the TV show Lucifer. You don't even get that name. I'm gonna call you Lucy. And you're mean and got issues. Just because your kid was better than you. Couldn't handle getting old. Had to go and get some evil gods to help you out. Oh, look, I have the power of gods. I'm gonna show how awesome I am. Because your ego hurts. And you're kind of a jerk. Okay, breathing again.
He realized what he had done.
Oh, now you feel guilty.
Unwilling to keep fighting, he collapsed to the floor next to the man he had worked to free his world with. Neither man realized that a second heresy just played out in miniature upon the now shattered surface of Caliban. In a cruel twist of fate, the lion had become the most like his father, the emperor of mankind. When the Dark Angels arrived on the shards of the planet's crust that held the fortress monastery of Alderuk, they found Luther, who had gone mad with grief. Their Primarch was...
Grief? Mad with grief? Mad with grief. Really? Oh, gee. Let me use the force of these gods on this kid that I'm jealous of. Or he's not really a kid anymore, but the point is, yeah, let me use that. Oh, I won and killed him? Oh, didn't think that was going to happen. Yeah, you did, you jerk. You got what you wanted, and then you're upset about it because then you realized, am I the baddie? Yes, you're the baddie. Sorry, I side with the kitty, okay? It's a cat, I'm a cat. I have to side with the kitty. He hurt the kitty. I'm fine. I am not going to be angry. I'm going to be just internally angry. Not at the level of Horus. But kind of there. Because mainly, Horus didn't raise Sanguinius as far as I know. But Luther did. Luther raised Lion. And he couldn't handle being a dad and having your kid just like outgrow you and be strong. I'm right. I'm not going to keep ranting. I am fine again.
Nowhere to be seen, but amidst the incessant babble coming from Luther's lips, they learned that the lion had been taken by the Watchers in the Dark, an enigmatic race of robed creatures that are shrouded in the warp as much as they are shrouded in mystery.
Who are these
Luther
guys?
was sequestered to a deep dungeon in the bowels
I
of
drag him
the
away.
rock, as the Shard of Caliban came to be called, languishing in stasis so that the Dark Angels could question him at their leisure.
Oh.
Unbeknownst to the galaxy at large, and even to the Astartes of the Dark Angels themselves, the lion had indeed been taken by the Watchers in the Dark and placed in an even deeper dungeon on the very same rock that held Luther.
Why is that room that giving me sword art like the tower font? It's like he's in another part of he's on another floor. Okay. So he lost. And the Watchers, these weird guys, showed up, took him, and the Angels were like, well, they took him. Looked at Luther's crying, weepy little self and dragged him off and started, quote, questioning him. I'm sure that was totally not painful or anything. Yeah, I'm sure it was perfectly all sunshines and rainbows when they were asking him questions. But is the lion gonna come back? Kind of feel like he might come back. Super kitty.
Is in the dark and placed in an even deeper dungeon on the very same rock that held Luther. He was kept a secret that only the Watchers knew. The only other being with this knowledge being the Emperor of Mankind, who sees all from his golden throne.
Okay.
For the next 10,000 years, the Dark Angels pursued a vicious war against their traitorous brothers who had survived the destruction of Caliban, dubbing them the Fallen. No longer the noble knights of the Great Crusade, the Dark Angels of the 41st millennium act more like a secret police force or a state-sponsored death squad. Fearing censure from the Imperium at large should their secret schism be discovered, the chapter does all it can to make sure each and every one of their fallen brothers is captured and made to repent for their actions, or be killed and quietly disposed of. The dreamer wakes up and sees his hands for the first time. He knows not how long he has sat here, but he suspects it has been a very long time. He hears a sound that pleases his ears. He rises to his feet and begins walking, slowly at first, and then running, hoping to find the source of these notes of music.
Okay.
Yes, that is what these sounds are called. The hunter comes upon a river where he sees an old man sitting in a boat. He wades out toward the boat, but is immediately told to return to shore by a diminutive creature in brown robes. He should not do that, it says. He is not strong enough. The hunter asks the creature what he should do and is told to follow his nature. He smells something that smells like corruption. He follows the smell until the trees begin to change.
Okay.
He is no longer where he was, but he is not sure where he is. He happens upon a man. He knows this man. This man's name is Zabriel, one of his sons, and if this is Zabriel, then he himself must be. Lion L. Johnson asks Zabriel many things. Where are they? When are they? Does the Imperium still exist? What about his other sons? Zabriel answers what he can, but there are gaps in his knowledge. Some time passes and the lion learns about the forest place that he walked out of. He learns that he can enter with focus and exit in places where he desires to go. Gathering to himself more of his formerly fallen sons, the lion forms a warband of loyalist dark.
Wait. That all seemed weird, and I thought it was like him dreaming while he was being held by the Watchers. So what I'm understanding is 10,000 years passed, I guess, and he woke up and then went through a forest and ended up in front of one of his sons. I forgot how to say the name. And I'm assuming that forest is the thing you guys were telling me in the comments is how he can teleport. It's all very weird and mystical, and I don't understand it, but I'm intrigued. And I like it. I want more.
Archangels. Fallen no longer, they
Oh.
are risen. Accompanying them is a small militia of mortal humans known as the Lion Guard Auxilia. The lion has not been idle since his return, obtaining
Okay.
a new sword named
Okay, he just looks like if Santa Claus was done with the naughty kids. That's what that looks like.
Fealty, and being gifted the Emperor's personal shield. He has been granted a new role in the galaxy.
Okay.
No longer a destroyer of the Emperor's enemies, he is now a protector of those lost to the Emperor's light in Imperium Nihilus. However, the forces of chaos still blight the galaxy, even 10,000 years after Horus's defeat, as seen when the Lion comes across a squad of mutated Chaos Astartes in the Lion, Son of the Forest.
Okay.
Who do you serve?
I serve myself. The fur-clad commander whose back the lion broke was still twitching. Zabriel walked over to him.
Okay, so I said the lion broke the guy's back. If the lion broke his back, I'm assuming he's the one who also broke Conrad's back. At least I think.
And aimed his bolt pistol at the fallen heretic's head.
Wait!
The lion crosses the floor and glares down at his adversary.
What must I do to rid myself of this malady that impedes me?
Impedes you? You slaughtered my best, broke my back as though I were a child. What manner of being are you that you consider yourself impeded when you can still do such things?
Okay, listen, he didn't exactly break your back. He was just opening a can, and he forgot his can opener. Yeah, totally what was happening.
The lion reaches up and removes his helmet. This
Oh.
is the first time he will declare himself in 10,000 years, and he will not do so behind a ceramite faceplate.
I am Lion L. Johnson, Primarch of the Dark Angels and son of the Emperor.
The heretic's eyes go wide and there is no doubt in them. He smiles and begins to laugh, exposing teeth that are mere jagged points.
There is no malady at work here, my lord. You simply got old.
The lion's breathing turns heavy, pursued by the cold bite of truth. Zabriel's bolt pistol speaks once more, and then there is silence.
Well, dealt with that guy.
The lion has much to learn about the galaxy at large,
Well,
and
yeah,
about
it's
himself.
changed a lot.
Now is a time for introspection and to face his inner demons.
Okay.
As the lion encounters a supernatural creature.
Dude, what is this? This is cool. Again, this is like what I talk about, like this art. This time it's definitely all monotone. You got the black and the white with the shades of gray, but there's no pop of red, no pop of color. And it is just telling a story here that I don't know yet what it is, but Oh, I like this. Again, the use of lighting is so important in these things. I don't know if this thing is rising up behind him, coming to possess him. He's also got that mark on his forehead, which is kind of interesting. Glowing eyes. Oh, this is just an amazing piece of work.
Imitating his siblings, as seen in the lion, son of the forest.
Okay.
The lion's jaw dropped when the figure stepped out into the gentle mist-shrouded light. Blonde hair so much like his own, but tangled and part braided, and not faded with age, ornate armor so much like the lion's own, but the grey of death in winter rather than the black of night. The ferocity that lurks within the lion's heart is mirrored here, but worn on the surface in the flashing blue eyes, and the elongated canine teeth that are exposed as the upper lip lifts in a snarl. Relief, anger, joy, and alarm all swell within the lion's heart.
Leman Russ. Hello, traitor.
Leman launched himself forward with his hands reaching out for the lion's throat. The lion wasted no more time with words. He had fought Leman Russ before, and he knows that such things only end when the Wolf King is either incapacitated or chooses to stop of his own accord. He sidesteps Russ's lunge and then swings a fist. He knocked Russ unconscious once on Delan, but his brother was laughing then. Russ is not laughing now. He swats the blow aside and slams a punch of his own into the lion's chest, his face twisted in a rage. The foolish see the savagery of the Space Wolves and dismiss it as nothing more than that, but the lion knows better. The lion meets him toe to toe, furious concentration against concentrated fury.
Traitor? You know that is not true!
Then why does it bother you so?
It was not Russ's voice the lion heard, and the shape now rising to its feet stands taller than Russ ever did. A mighty figure encased in a massive suit of Terminator plate is now where the Wolf King stood a moment before. Horus Lupercal.
You are...
What? Is something messing with his head? What? Yeah, you're dead. Okay, lion, don't fall for whatever this is. This thing's weird.
dead! Russ's fate I did not know for sure, but you are dead! This is some warp trickery!
Yeah.
Now it is Horus's turn to stagger, raising his other hand to shield his face as he does so. When he lowers it again, his features have changed. His skin is paler, and cables snake out of its skull into his armor. Perturabo.
Well anticipated. A shame you lacked that foresight on Tiamat.
You might at least have found a brother for whom I ever cared!
And if you had been smarter, you would have seen it coming.
The crimson-haired giant is as tall on one knee as the lion is standing, and his hand closes around the lion's skull in an agonizing grip. The lion manages to prise the fingers apart, but Magnus's other hand punches him full in the face and sends him flying backwards.
No, I know that you are a fraud! Magnus could never hope to hit that hard!
The Emperor never trusted you.
Okay, that was
Dawn lashed out with 2 quick punches. The lion should have been able to dodge them both, but he is starting to feel the effects of being repeatedly battered by his brothers, or at least by a being which is mimicking them, and the second lands flush.
That is why he sent you far away to the galaxy's darkest corners while keeping me close.
Dawn continued, reaching out to grab and strangle. The lion seizes one of his arms and pivots, throwing Dawn over his shoulder and dumping the Praetorian of Terror onto his back.
You think he trusted you with his secrets? I know secrets you could never hope to imagine, firstborn.
Arms seized the lion from behind, wrapping around his neck and hauling him around in a half circle. But he reached up to prise them loose and dropped down onto one knee to throw his attacker off again.
You never did!
Okay, so what is happening is this being is shifting through Primarchs and beating him up? Is that what is happening? Y'all leave a comment. Tell me if I'm right. 'Cause what the crap is he fighting? What is this thing? It's from the warp. I don't think it's a god. Maybe it's one of the gods, like top people or general or something, but seriously, y'all leave a comment. Let me know what in the world is happening here. Unless it shows up in the video and I get my answer, but I'm mind blown right now. I'm really surprised.
Have the stomach for a fair fight! A fair fight!
Angron roared, throwing the lion off. He piles forward in a furious rush of blows that have all of Russ's savagery but none of the control. The lion gets back up and tries to throw a punch of his own, but it's caught in a hand of metal.
At least I know which of my legion deserved to die.
They all dead!
But,
And I knew that. They called me a fiend because I terrorized worlds. But
Yeah.
you just killed them. My reputation made planets capitulate when they heard my approach. But you just dropped from the sky unannounced and burned the very soil to ash. Why is it that you are a hero and I am a villain simply because I left some wretches alive to talk about me?
The lion manages to get his hands on Curz's and wrenches the claws out, then staggers away. When he turns, the Night Haunter is nowhere to be seen.
I am not a hero. I did what was required of me by the master of mankind, the man I believe knew best. I was a necessary part of his plan to unify and save humanity.
So noble.
You are a villain because you enjoyed what you did, and you did it even when you had been ordered not to.
Perhaps Father did his work too well.
Oh,
You can only blame the Emperor because you refuse to take responsibility for your own actions.
see, this is again more daddy issues. Therapy. They need counseling, and they need to go play catch with their dad, and not play whatever's going on with the universe. Well, I guess they're not really playing because universe is kind of screwed thanks to the Chaos Gods and I was gonna say Slanesh, but that's Chaos Gods and the other bad things out there. Either way, still they could have used some therapy.
You like to say that you could see the future, but you let yourself be a slave to it
Oh.
instead of forging your own path.
He's not wrong.
Father has not failed yet. Not while I am still alive to protect this galaxy.
You
know
dumb liar.
nothing of which you speak.
Perhaps. But you are long dead. And I am through bandying words with ghosts.
Oh,
Most recently, the lion
so that happened, but it didn't say what it was. Was that actually him fighting the Primarchs, or was this a being that was turning into the Primarchs? Now I'm really confused, but in a good way. So let me know in the comments what in the world just happened. I'm looking to you guys. I'm sure as I dive deeper, like as I know this is just they're going over the things, so there's not hard details, but I'm sure the more I dive into 40K and continue down this journey, all this stuff will click and make a lot more sense. But at this point in time, I am a bit lost, but that did sound really cool. It was a fight like that fight was pretty awesome.
is reunited with his loyalist sons, the modern Dark Angels. During the invasion of the Rock by Vashtor the Archifane, the lion arrived in time to save Dante, the chapter master of the Blood Angels, from his corrupted brother Angron. The duel between the ascended demon Primarch and the newly returned lion was a sight that will be recorded in the annals of Imperial history for all time. After being pursued relentlessly by the blood-starved beast, the lion managed to land a single strike on Angron's throat. Never one to work in half measures, the lion proceeded to decapitate his traitorous brother with the edge of the Emperor's shield, bringing it down over and over again until the deed was done. In the grim darkness of the far future, the Knight of Nihilus stalks the stars. No longer a destroyer, he is the guardian of all those who would ask for his protection. The Primarch is the Imperium's greatest warrior, and a man of focus, commitment, and sheer bloody will. Only time will tell whether he will be able to unite the peoples of Imperium Nihilus, or be swallowed by the dark.
Go, now! Return to your grey ship and your empty flags. You will have my answer within the hour.
After Alfaris had left, the lion turned to Captain Arnade.
What did you make of that?
Strange offer.
Very. Do you agree with his assessment of the war?
Arnade hesitated.
It is not my place to.
Your honest view, Captain?
He's right. We will win here. But we will also leave much of our strength in these stars.
The lion nodded. His eyes flickered briefly across the various tactical hololiths, all buzzing with runes and deployment vectors.
I had a dream last night, Captain Arnade. I dreamed that I was back on Caliban before my father had come, when the deep woods were still alive with horror. I was in the mind of a beast come to slay me. Or perhaps the beast was in my mind and it was the hunter. Now I do not recall ever meeting such a creature in life. And as it ended, it spoke to me.
Arnade listened, a little awkwardly, unsettled by the glimpse, however slight, into the Primarch's inner life.
Dad's telling a weird story again about what he dreamed last night. All right, Dad, I'll listen. Go right ahead. Not weird or anything at all.
It, too, called me the First. I cannot have known what it meant then. Ever since, though, the title has been both honor and burden, hung around our necks heavy. Now we have more ghosts emerging from the void that tempt us with future visions of greater politics to come. Always, at every turn, such ghosts have been there, believing they know what I must wish for, or must do, or must be.
The lion smiled a second time, a little less coldly.
A war master. A first among equals.
Oh.
The ghost is no doubt right. Something like that will surely come. And if we persist in fulfilling our oaths here, we damage our chances of taking it. Every creature of temptation, it seems to me, comes out of the shadows bearing words of truth. That is why they are dangerous. We are used to lies. On a world made of them, only truth imperils the soul.
Then, should we?
The lion looked back towards him, a flicker of dry amusement lingering on his face.
Should we what, Captain?
Should we accept the offer?
The lion sat back in his throne.
The offer changes, but my answer never does.
Okay.
Totally unscripted, just wanted to share a quick word with you all. I just wanted to give a huge, huge thanks to all of your incredible support with our new long-form content.
Alright, yeah, just gonna pause that. As you guys can see on the screen, Astartes Anonymous, from what I understand, they're a group of people that come together that tells this. I was not sure. I had just learned about them through you guys. This has been really good. Now, it wasn't super detailed. I didn't expect it to be, so I am a little confused on some of the things, but it did give me a very good understanding of the lion, and I have to admit, I like the lion. The lion is a really, really cool character. I'm not being biased because I'm a kitty girl, but I do find him interesting. His whole story from growing up in the jungles or the forest, and I still think Tarzan, so I said jungle, but his whole wild child thing, and then, you know, making his world at peace, discovering he's a Primarch, all of that is really, really, really good. And it has been a joy to go through this with you guys, and I'm probably gonna have to watch this again later just to, you know, wrap my brain around some more. And I will be reading comments, so feel free to type up what you want me to know, and I will try to absorb that information. I'm still going to get things wrong, but I'm sure the more I explore and get familiar with this stuff, it will start sticking, and it'll be like any lore of like 14 that I can just throw out at random. But I did promise you guys a surprise, which should be on the screen right now. Yes, I went ahead and drew the Primarch, the lion. I was inspired. I felt just motivated that at the end of this, I wanted to draw his chibi, and there he is. It took a little bit of work. I was not really sure on some of the design choices I went with. I did add a belt there originally, but the belt kind of blended with his cape when I got to coloring, so I decided to remove that. and I had a lot of fun. That's the first time I've drawn a beard, so I'm happy with how the beard came out. And I also wanted to give him a lighter blonde hair color because I felt that that would be more fitting because I feel he is older. But yes, that is the Lion's Chibi, and I hope you guys liked it. I just had so much fun drawing it, and I wanted it to be ready for this video, which is probably why this video will be coming out a little late compared to how soon I wanted to bring it out. But I hope you guys did enjoy. And it is that point in the video for me to say a couple of things. One, if you made it to this point, you are awesome and you rock and you know it. I say that all the time, but it is never not true. And it is also that point in the video where I say the magic words that YouTube is supposed to enjoy, which is if you like that video, leave a like and subscribe. And I'm going to take a break and probably rewatch this video and try to absorb some more lion knowledge. Us cats have to stick together. But until next time, I hope you all take care. Bye-bye.